And Chair Lady Afendoulis, I also believe you have a constituent with you today, another gentleman with you.
I do. I have Doug Wildley here, and he will provide a little bit of testimony for us as well shortly.
Okay, well, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'm grateful for your time. This package of bills is among the first I had the opportunity to tackle as Chair of Tax Policy, and I took it up because I believe it is smart legislation. It allows us to treat Michigan businesses fairly by making sure we don't give businesses who sell into Michigan an unfair advantage. And it is a rare opportunity to add a new revenue stream to our state. We introduced the bills on May 2, and between then and referring them to your committee on June 19, we worked closely with affected parties to ensure our legislation was well considered and ready for your review. Two of the bills codifying the existing marketplace decision, which says that retailers that have at least 200 sales or at least $100,000 in annual sales in a state have established a nexus in the state and must collect sales tax, just as brick and mortar retailers must. This is expected to translate into $225 million this fiscal year and $240 million in the next. The other two bills, introduced by me and Representative Tate, expand the sales and use taxes to marketplace facilitators, to the eBays and the Etsy's of the world. This expansion is projected to add $80 million to $120 million to our state's coffers on a full fiscal year basis. This is money brought in from businesses from outside our state. More importantly, it subjects these businesses to the same taxes we impose upon Michigan-based businesses. The Main Street of today has traveled 22,000 miles from satellites or through 700,000 miles of submarine fiber optic cables, allowing businesses in Vietnam, Ireland, and Brazil to compete as if they were 2 doors down. This legislation allows us to stand proudly and resolutely with Michigan businesses to make them and our state successful. And it eliminates the opportunity to visit retailers in Michigan to look at products and then purchase them online to avoid paying sales tax, which happens quite frequently. We chose to look at this legislation after I had a meeting with Doug Wildley, one of the thousands of business owners in Michigan trying to compete in this world of global e-commerce. Doug has joined me today because I thought it would be helpful for you to hear from someone directly impacted by the policy we're considering. But first, I would like to turn it over to Representative Tate, sponsor of House Bill 4541, the use tax, and then to Representative Weber for the codifying tax, and then we will have Mr. Wildley give some testimony.
Thank you, Representative Afendoulis. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I will be very brief. Since the Wayfair decision in 2018, the Supreme Court's decision was made allowing states to charge sales tax on out-of-state sellers. Several states have enacted some form of economic nexus or marketplace facilitation legislation. I believe at this point right now, over 30 states have some form of economic nexus legislation. And around, I believe, according to the Multi-State Tax Commission, around 33 states have been identified, including the District of Columbia, that has some form of marketplace legislation at this point right now. With this similar legislation being adopted by our counterparts in other states, Michigan is at this point right now, but they've been working on this in the past too, most recently with the Main Street Fairness Act in 2015. So as Rep. Afendoulis stated earlier, ultimately these bills are here today to uphold fairness within our commerce industry by holding out-of-state sellers to the same standard as our businesses in Michigan. And that concludes my remarks, and thank you, Representative Afendoulis.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Iden, and pleasure to be up here with Chair Afendoulis and Representative Tate talking about this bill package. I would just add, in terms of my bill, 4542, it would codify the Supreme Court's decision into Michigan law by requiring out-of-state sellers to collect Michigan sales tax. Simply put, this is a fairness issue. If local stores across Michigan must collect sales tax from their customers, out-of-state sellers should face the same requirements. House Bill 4542 levels the playing field by updating Michigan's law to reflect the Wayfair decision in order to prevent any confusion by out-of-state sellers. The bill passed our Tax Policy Committee with all but one no vote, and appreciate your time and consideration today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Doug Wildy. I'm the CEO of Game Room Guys. We're one of the largest companies in the U.S. that deals in the home game room business. If you want to buy a pinball machine or a Ms. Pac-Man game and relive your youth, that's what we do. And I reached out to Representative Afendoulis back in April, maybe, or before that, to talk about this particular issue, because it's one that affects our business in a major way, and I think that it affects a lot of the small businesses and medium-sized businesses in Michigan as well. What's happening in the street, and this is really the only reason that I'm here, is I want to show you what someone does when they come into our store. They reach into their pocket and they pull out your favorite new device, and while they're talking to us, they look it up on Amazon to see what the price is. If you want to buy a Ms. Pac-Man game from us right now on Amazon, it's $32.99. Well, when you have 6% sales tax on $32.99 and you're not collecting it on Amazon from another vendor, then you save $200. You get the same game. This happens every day. Yesterday, I had someone walk out of our store in Grand Rapids. We have two stores, one in Livonia and one in Grand Rapids. Walk out of our Grand Rapids store, and they wanted to spend $14,000. And they left because they can buy it somewhere else without sales tax. It's eye-opening when you actually see it. I know I can't recreate it, but I'm hoping I give you the understanding that this is a major problem. Amazon and eBay and those folks, we're major retailers with them. We sell millions on their channels, and we pay sales tax in 34 states today ourselves. We collect it and remit it, not only through those channels, but also just because you need to do it. It's the law. And I'm asking you to take this and pass it through and quickly. Every day that it goes by, we're losing money. And this has been going on for quite a while now, ever since the tax stuff started hitting hold when Wayfair went through last year. So if there's anything that I can ever do to answer any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. But really, it's just a matter of putting it in place. Everybody's ready for it.